Since 1954, Terrebonne General has been a beacon of health and hope in our community. As we mark 7 decades of dedication to your well-being, Terrebonne General Health System remains committed to advancing healthcare, improving lives, and expanding our services to meet your evolving needs. In celebrating our past, we look forward to a future filled with promise and progress. Your health is our legacy. To discover more, visit tghealthsystem.com.
A social media segment is brought to you by Terrebonne General Health System. Your health is our legacy. Rouse's, you're either local or you're not. Buick, the craft of modern luxury. St. Martin and Bork, know your rights.
Hello and welcome back to this edition of Bayou Time. I'm your host, Keith Weissite, licensed clinical social worker with Terrebonne Home Care. Very glad you're joining us. However you may be joining us, we appreciate it. And we always love to get our updates and information on things that are happening here with the public and what may be happening through the Sheriff's Office as we welcome back into the program Brendan Bethune. Brendan, thanks for joining us again.
Keith, thanks for having me, man. All
right, absolutely. Of course, Certified Public Information Officer and Captain at Lafourche Parish Sheriff's Office. You know, we get some of these reports coming in and, you know, the summertime has started, and I think we often use the term kids will be kids, but boy, this is a unique situation that I'm hoping people will pay attention to. Tell us a little bit about this event that took place yesterday.
Well, yeah, this occurred on early Monday morning around 1:30 a.m. We had an off-duty deputy that was traveling in the central Lafourche area, and she was being followed closely by another vehicle. She actually had another civilian in the vehicle. While they noticed that they were, being followed, she pulled over into our Criminal Operations Center parking lot in Lockport, and the vehicle followed her. So obviously, as a deputy, at that point, your senses are really heightened. And then the vehicle that was following them, someone emerges from the passenger side with a gun and points it at the vehicle. Now, you see a picture of the gun. Now, again, and this is in the light of day, and that looks, pretty close to the real thing. Imagine being 1:30 in the morning, pitch black outside, very hard to tell the difference either way.
Right.
That this gun that you're looking at is a gel blaster gun. It fires gel, little round gel dots essentially, and granted, and can hurt if and can cause serious injury if you shoot it in someone's eye. But obviously, it is a toy and not meant to cause serious bodily harm. In this case, that gun pointed at the deputy. Again, the deputy, having a civilian with her in the vehicle, immediately left the scene or started to come away. That vehicle, that passenger, then got back into the vehicle. Now, the deputy ended up following the vehicle back to an area until other deputies can arrive on scene, and they detained all of those for questioning. They learned that they thought they were following a friend of theirs, not the off-duty deputy. And again, they were just kind of playing around, kids playing around. Now, Keith, needless to say, in this case, this could have potentially turned into utter disaster. When you point a gun at someone, whether it's a toy gun or not, if it even resembles the real thing, and that person is in fear for their life, as you know, that person, whether it's a deputy or just an average civilian, is fully within their right to stand their ground and fire back. And so that's the issue here. Obviously, a deputy, making it even more concerning, considering that our deputies, in most cases, if not all, are obviously armed. This could have potentially turned very bad for this individual. And like you said, understand kids will be kids. Kids make bad decisions, but in this case, that bad decision could have cost someone their life.
Yeah, and I'm trying to imagine if this is me, if I'm being followed and I have my gun in my car and someone gets out at 1:30 in the morning, a gun that I can't tell, I think I'm potentially going to fire. And
that's the message that we have for the kids watching this, and especially for the parents that might be watching. if you find that your children have toy guns or replica firearms, and we've covered this in the past, Keith,
Right.
replica firearms are BB guns that are meant to resemble the real thing. And I just got to ask, what are you doing with that? But if for whatever reason you have one, you obviously have to be concerned about using it or carrying it, displaying it in a public place. And certainly, even more caution when you're pointing it at someone. As the sheriff said, you should never point a gun at anyone unless you have a justifiable reason to do so. Full stop. There is
Right.
no reason to point a gun at anyone, whether it's a toy, something, a toy meant to look like the real thing, whatever it may be. You do that in public to someone who is armed, and that could have potentially disastrous consequences.
Yeah, and so I thank God no one got injured, other than I'm hoping the emotional state of these three kids and their parents, who now realized they all need to be able to do things differently. We need to learn something from this because you and I can see this going badly very quickly. And quite frankly, we have. I mean, we've seen situations like this. And so I'm hoping that the only thing here was the fear that this is just a really bad idea.
Correct. And hopefully, with the publication of this story, with this news coverage, hopefully it's a lesson learned, and, thankfully a lesson learned without, like you said, without injury, without loss of life. What we can tell people, though, and we've seen a lot of the comments about the kids not having been charged yet, it's important to note that this investigation is still underway. Criminal charges are always possible until a case is concluded. So we understand that there's a lot of people, because we did obviously just turn them over to the custody of their parents. But please rest assured that the investigation is still ongoing and that criminal charges are always possible until the investigation is concluded.
Yeah, and again, we want to make sure we have all of the information. We want to make sure that everything is very clear about what happened and what to do about that, right? And so I'm always glad that the sheriff's office is really good about making sure that talking with what to do about these situations. And so we're really glad that y'all are thinking through this about the best possible outcome and education. We appreciate your time, as always, helping to educate the public about the right things to do and how to make sure that our communities stay safe. We appreciate that time.
Thank you, Keith. We appreciate it.
All right, guys, that'll do it for this particular segment. Don't go anywhere. A whole lot more right here on HTV.